Ada is really seen as a very vital, vibrant town, a town that's progressive, a town that's growing, a town that people care about each other, a town that really is investing in itself and trying to make things grow and prosper and provide even a better quality of life for people.
Facilities such as pools, senior citizen centers, Main Street, and ballparks, those are reasons why people choose to not only stay but come and live in communities. And I think it's important that we do invest in these types of projects so that our kids have places to play ball and places to swim. It allows the creation of memories which all of us as parents want for our kids.
We're asking the public to support the next penny for the city because it touches on things that are going to make Ada even a better place to live. But we need to keep the momentum that's been going on. Our citizens came to us and they said, we want more quality of life. We want to make Ada the best place that it can possibly be. And we think we're doing that with this next penny.
Before examining the proposed Penny for Our City extension, let's take a look back at the original measure. In August 2010, Ada voters approved a 1-cent sales tax which became known as Penny for Our City. This 5-year measure, which did not create an increase in the local tax rate, is now funding the construction of brand new police and fire stations, a new sports complex on the northwest side of town, a crucial water supply line engineering study, and a major overhaul to the city's aging downtown district. The engineering study is complete, and all the capital improvement projects are set to begin in this, the final year of the original Penny for Our City tax measure.
The City of Ada anticipates being able to go to construction on our new police station, our new fire station, and our new sports complex the first part of March of 2015, to be followed up by construction of Main Street around June of 2015. I think it's important for our citizens to know that the Penny for Our City has been a pay-as-you-go program. The city has not borrowed money to do these projects. Because we have not borrowed money, we've not had to spend money in interest that we have been able to apply to the projects directly.
This original Penny for Our City measure expires on December 31st, 2015. Community leaders have envisioned and proposed a second round of major improvements focusing solely on quality of life. If approved by voters on January 13th, this second penny measure will enable the city to complete arguably the most comprehensive capital improvements Ada has ever seen. All this for the same sales tax rate that residents and visitors alike have paid since 1983.
In this day and time, money is hard to come by. And so the wisdom of a sales tax is that it really allows people to make the choice on whether or not they want to do this, number one, in their vote. And they can really, it really distributes it equally for those. It generates income from lots of people, not just people from our area, but a sales tax allows those people coming in to also contribute when they purchase goods and services here in town. So I think it's a pretty fair tax. But in this time of declining revenues, you have to look for sources of funds to fund these kinds of projects. And this is a possibility.
I think it's important for our citizens to understand and recognize that the amount of the improvements that needs to be made here in Ada can only be accomplished through sales tax initiatives. Our infrastructure is very old. It's aged beyond rehabilitation, frankly. Without the sales tax dollars, there's no way that the improvements that need to be made at the magnitude they need to be made can be made.
On January 13th, 2015, voters will be asked to support an extension of the Penny for Our City sales tax measure for 8 more years. Again, this will not cause an increase in the local sales tax rate. By approving the extension now, the sales tax revenue will continue uninterrupted and allow the city to start on the next round of projects immediately. Unlike the first round of projects, which could not begin until the studies, discussions, and recommendations of new facility sites were completed, all the locations for this next round of projects are already established, which will allow the city to start construction much more quickly. So what are these exciting new projects that will be funded by an extension? Ada's 2 swimming pools are old, very old, and thanks to the southern Oklahoma heat, both are heavily used each and every summer, which further contributes to their decline.
It's hard to believe that a town this size wouldn't be able to have a couple of wonderful swimming pools, and right now we are in dire need of replacing what we have.
Well, Winter Smith was dedicated June 15th, 1958. The current Glenwood pool was opened in 1960. It replaced a pool that was built in about 1940. We're one of the only cities in the state that still have this age of pool. Most of them have gone through and either retrofitted those and completely redone them or have taken those out. So yeah, we've really gotten our money's worth. They've lasted a lot longer than they probably should have. Do they look great? No, they look like they were built in the 50s and 60s. They're concrete block. They're, our bathhouses are very Spartan. Have they outlasted their lifespan? Yes.
Not only are the pools woefully out of date, they also leak, which costs the city even more money to keep them full all summer long. The city has done all it can do to patch the pools above ground, but the plumbing, much of which runs underneath the pools, is antiquated. Add to this the fact that several communities around Ada have built modern pools with exciting aquatics features. These cities are slowly siphoning young families away from Ada, which enables them to fill their tax coffers and invest in quality of life improvements for their residents. That's the kind of social and financial support that needs to stay in the community.
During the summer, we've gone to the Pauls Valley Splash Park, and there is a big difference. Compare it to someone handing you a $100 bill versus 10 $100 bills. There is a big difference between the two, so that is going to be the difference in the level of excitement that she gets when I say, well, let's go to Winter Smith one day, and then I say, well, we're going to go ahead and go to the Pauls Valley. We're going to drive out of town, and it is just, you can see it in her eyes. Her face lights up, and it's a big smile from ear to ear. She's ready to go.
By investing in our quality of life through new pools, new aquatics, new sports complex, and new Main Street, we create an environment that creates an atmosphere for our citizens to have things to do, for our kids to have places to not only play sports, but in the case of the pools, to swim, areas for recreation. And by investing in these things, not only are we taking care of our citizens, but we do allow and create an opportunity for people that don't necessarily live here to be able to come and visit our city and participate in those venues or those activities, which then in turn directly has a positive impact or benefit to the city through sales tax dollars.
We look at the swimming pools as being an investment in the future. I mean, having nice swimming facilities is something that not only this generation, the people today, can enjoy, but the future generations. We want to tell the kids that, listen, Ada ought to be a place that you think of when you grow up. And providing those kind of quality of life things does nothing but help our community.
Well, when I was younger, I used to come to both Glenwood and Winter Smith, and they haven't changed at all. So I think it would be great. Think about the excitement of the children. Think about the excitement of their grandchildren if, they're taking care of their grandchildren for the weekend. It just would be awesome.
It should be noted that the city also plans to reincorporate both splash parks added in recent years into one super splash park in Glenwood, while both proposed pools will include all new water features. This is an exciting project that will benefit the entire community, particularly Ada's young families. So what does a penny for our city extension have in store for the city's elders? You can tell a lot about a community by how it treats its youngest and oldest members. As for Ada's older residents, quite frankly, they deserve better than sharing a 1935 elementary school with city recreation leagues.
I started school here at the age of 6. That's been 1957. Went to school here for 6 years. And it's hard to believe that here I am in my 60s, still eating here. And they had places set up to do puzzles and basketball games and dances and everything else. But to know that the building is this old, it's in bad need of some repairs, you can only kind of put a Band-Aid on buildings for so long.
I'm really excited about the possibility of a new senior citizen center. Several years ago, some of my constituents called, senior citizens that go to the center. They said, Susan, have you been down to the center lately? You need to come see. There's rainwater that leaks in on the walls, the toilets, the bolts have come off. just the place is in disrepair, holes in the walls, just really deteriorating conditions. And I went down there, and they were right. It was sad. And of course, I have senior citizen centers all over my district. And those are places of celebration for our seniors to really come together and visit, play dominoes, some of them quilt, that sort of thing. Some of them have live music. It's a place for them to congregate, as well as just have good nutrition. And so when I saw the state of our senior citizen center, I said, we've got to do better.
The Irving Community Center is falling apart, but is constantly full of people and activity. The senior citizens eat in the same space that hosts basketball and volleyball games. It makes for a constant game of musical chairs, and there is no time or space to improve a facility that is always in use.
A lot of it's pre-planning. You have to know when Boys and Girls Club are going to start their practices, when they're going to start their games. They practice in here one night a week. So after the senior citizens get done at 1 o'clock, we have to move all the tables and chairs off the floor, sweep, mop for them. During different seasons, volleyball right now, same thing after 1 o'clock when they leave. Everything's off the court, and the next morning have to put everything back. It's just a lot of pre-planning and just letting all the guys know what days of the week we have to do this or that.
Most communities have a dedicated senior citizen center that's a multi-purpose center. What Ada's done, and it has functioned okay, but is it really what we've needed for our seniors? No, because it's really not a fully functional senior center in itself that allows them to do a multitude of things that most seniors have, and most exercise programs and areas for them to socialize and do certain things. We've just made do with what we've had. By using it in a gymnasium and using an existing grade school cafeteria, it's functioned okay. But is it really what we want for our seniors in our community? No.
They've spent their lives working, living here. They have given to us. It's our time to return the favor and give back to them.
Ada's senior citizens community is more tightly knit than some may realize. They eat together, they socialize together, and they take care of each other. Perhaps no other group enjoys the camaraderie more. A new senior citizen center would be all theirs, not to be shared with any other groups.
Most anybody can fix a sandwich and a bowl of soup at home and have your own food. But when you come like this, we're like one big family, in a sense. And everybody tries to help everybody else. Kind of like that old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, that child keeps growing older and older. When you have family and relatives that's moved off to other towns or states or even countries, a lot of them don't have a lot of people to turn to. My thoughts are that the wisdom does come from the elderly. They've been that route, so to speak. But we're sort of pushed aside a lot of times. Well, think about what your grandparents did for you, your mom and dad did for you. And I call it the circle of life. At one time, you could look on this circle and there'd be your great-grandparents, your grandparents, your parents, and you. Now you're up there where the great-grandparents were. And appreciate what people have done for you in the past. Where would we be without them? We, as your grandma, grandpas, we need this. They need this socialization as well as the food. A lot of them won't eat lunch if they don't come over here.
It's important that we honor them and pay tribute to them by having a facility that they can go to and be comfortable in and really is in good shape. They don't have to worry about, falling ceilings or toilets that don't work, that sort of thing. They really deserve a facility that they can go and enjoy themselves and just really talk about, their accomplishments in life and just celebrate life.
This Penny for Our City extension addresses the needs of Ada's youngest and oldest citizens, but there is so much more it will do. One of the biggest obstacles facing job and population growth in Ada is a lack of affordable housing. So this next penny will work toward rectifying that.
Because of Ada's current housing situation, we were unable to fill some jobs that our local businesses are needing to fill. The Workforce Housing Program will help the city deliver affordable, quality homes so people can move to Ada and therefore be hired by our local businesses.
This program targets new middle-income housing. The city will not use tax funds to actually build houses, but it will allow the city to incent builders who agree to construct this type of housing in terms of infrastructure such as streets and water and sewer lines. The idea is to grow Ada's workforce population, which in turn grows the economy and ultimately quality of life for all who live here.
You know, we moved to Ada in 1980, and we choose to live here because we love this place. We love the people, we love the friendliness, we love just the fact that you can get across town without much traffic, though that's changing as we grow. We love the quality of life, the things that you can do. It is family-oriented, it is friendly people. People care about you. It's that sense of community. You don't get that in the big cities. You get that in a smaller community where people know you. I go to the grocery store, I go all over town, the gas station, people go, "How are you doing, Senator Paddock?" And it's just that warm, fuzzy feeling that you get from living in a place where you know people care about you and you care about them too.
The Penny for Our City extension will also trigger the second phases of 3 critical quality of life projects: the sports complex, downtown beautification, and the historic Wintersmith Amphitheater. The initial penny will construct 4 softball fields, some flat fields for soccer and flag football, parking areas, restrooms, a grand lawn and grand entrance, an internal road, and part of a walking trail. A penny renewal will add 4 baseball fields, lights for the entire park, more parking areas, outdoor basketball and volleyball courts, and more walking trails. On Main Street, the first penny will beautify 5 intersections: Oak, Townsend, Broadway, Rennie, and Constant. The intersection beautification will include new signal poles, signal lights, and landscaping. A new grand entrance to the west end of Main Street will also be built, and the bike and walking trail will be extended from Main to 12th Street. A penny renewal will focus on beautification between those intersections as well as the city's pocket parks. This will include decorative street lighting and trees. Thanks to an Oklahoma Centennial grant in 2007, the city was able to make some much-needed repairs to the historic Wintersmith Amphitheater, which was constructed in 1933. But that facility is not finished. A renewal of the penny will enable the city to complete the vision with the construction of a permanent stage, paved parking areas, a ticket booth, restrooms, and an audio-visual room. All of these amenities will blend in with the historic architecture of the original amphitheater. The initial penny for our city measure is in place, and these projects will be paid for as they are built. Our children and grandchildren will not be saddled with this debt. The same goes for a penny renewal on January 13th. Again, this is not a tax increase. If the penny is renewed, history will show that these measures authored the biggest capital improvements overhaul in Ada's history, and we'll be the citizens who made it possible. It's all about quality of life.
Quality of life is really, it is a philosophical thought, but you know, it's something we all want. And it's something I think small communities like Ada offer people. I think that's why our city is thriving. I think that's why people want to invest in Ada.
Quality of life's a big component to why people choose to live and stay in a community. And I think it's important that Ada reinvests in the infrastructure that provides quality of life to all of our citizens.
I would say to our citizens, if you'll continue to pay the same taxes that you've been paying the last 31 years, look at what you get. You get a new senior citizens facility, something that's very deserved. You get 2 new swimming pools. You get the opportunity to continue completion of the Main Street project and also the sports complex. All of these things is what you get if you just agree to pay the same taxes you've been paying for over 30 years.
Love going to visit family back in California, but Ada has grown on me. It's a great family community where you can raise your children, don't have to worry about a whole lot. I wouldn't move back to California, even though I have family there, but Ada is home to me, and I'm proud to say that.
I believe in Ada, and I believe that the things that we're doing to make us grow and to make us more attractive to young families and things that just continually improve our community, they improve our quality of life for all of us.